All right, let's find out what's happening in New York here. Let's figure this out. Keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. I'm not dialed yet. There we go. They're calling the residence of one Bryant Gumbel. Let's find out if he's taking the Today game or that gig or not. I can't believe the man's going to leave sports. I don't even know if we can find him home. We'll give him a try.
Yeah.
I'm looking for Bryant Gumbel.
That depends on who's looking for him.
This is Bob Trumpy calling from Cincinnati.
Hey, Trumpy.
And I'm on the air.
You're kidding.
No, so talk very, very intelligently, BG. Listen.
You don't want me to swear either.
No, I don't want you to swear either. Listen, Bryant, the reason I'm calling you, just had an inquirer about, maybe 25 minutes ago, who heard this morning that some kid named Bryant Gumbel had accepted the job to do to the Today program and is going to forsake NBC Sports to take a job that begins at 3:30 each morning.
Trump, I think at this point any definitive statement is premature. Obviously, from the amount of exposure this thing has gotten, there's something afoot, and there are some conversations. There's some ground for conversation. But at this point, I have signed nothing, and nothing has been decided.
Well, terrific. I'm glad to hear that. You know why?
Why?
I think you're the best there is in the business at what you do.
Well, thank you, Trump.
And I believe that I know that everybody in this business is looking for a challenge. But I believe, too, if you don't mind me stating a case for you, because I'd like to see you at NBC Sports, when you move on, there's always something that you don't like. I can't believe that you would leave sports.
It's possible, Trump. It's possible. And you know, I mean, my going on to do that wouldn't necessarily mean that I am leaving sports totally, nor would it mean that I am giving up what has been my first love for a long time. It would just mean there are other things to do and other challenges out there, and to the extent that I could still make a contribution to sports, I would probably look for a means to do that.
Yeah, but it would mean that you'd probably need 9.5 days in each and every week to accomplish all that you wish to accomplish. I mean,
something like that. But it would be an interesting challenge. I must tell you that honestly, and if possible, then I will wind up doing it.
Yeah. Well, I must admit to you, Brian, that on this program, and we hash over an awful lot of things each and every night in the world of sports, your name comes up frequently. And I'm not paying you this compliment only because you're on the phone, because the people listening know that I've made it before. There is nobody in the game, there is nobody in the business that can do what you do any better than you can do it.
Well, thank you, guys.
And
I appreciate that.
Maybe that's one of the...
for whatever it looks like, we work hard at making it work, and it's nice to know that the things you try to accomplish are appreciated by someone. I've never taken the responsibility of talking to our audience lightly, and I've never sold their intelligence or their interest short, and it's nice to know that they return that in kind.
Well, but that's the respect you have for the audience. What I'm talking about is the ability to somehow assimilate information, store it in your mind, and then on a given moment, when the producer says, I need 3 minutes and 25 seconds out of you, leading into this, out of this, into that, and out of that, finishing with this quote, you invariably do it. I don't know how you do it, and I don't think you can teach me how to do it.
Well, you read Damn Yankees?
Yes, I did.
I sold my soul to the devil to make sure I could get off.
Shame on you.
Shame on you. It's one of those strange kind of things, Trumps, where all of us are blessed with a talent, and thankfully that's mine, and thankfully I managed to hook up with a medium that uses it best.
Yeah.
I wish I had your size. I wish I had your football talent. I wish I could have run up and down the field as you did and played with the excellence you did, but I couldn't.
Yeah.
God didn't give me that talent. He gave me the one I've got.
Yeah, obviously, too, he did not give you any talent in the world of golf. I've already experienced
That's true,
that.
but I did beat you.
Well, on a technicality. On a technicality. Brian, I did not mean to bother you at home.
That's a big doggy eat.
You got it, brother. I did not mean to bother you at home, but when
never bother to talk to you.
But when that person called, I thought that somebody had scooped me, and I didn't know.
Talk to me about the Bengals. Is it the helmets?
No, God, I hope not. I can't believe it. I'm telling you, if it's the helmets, and there are more that are spawned around the NFL, and that's the only reason they're winning. Brian, it's simple. It's Forrest Gregg. I can't believe that we have not done a story on Forrest Gregg yet. Everybody still says that these people are not for real. I'm going to call David Stern and suggest that if they don't bring an entire crew down here to talk to as many Cincinnati Bengals as possible before they lose, we are making a big mistake.
I think they're for real. I really do. I think they're definitely for real. I mean, hell, when they beat the Steelers last week, and the Steelers said they just flat out beat our butts. I mean, I don't think there's any way around that. I do think they better be awake this week.
You're right.
Because, I mean, they're coming off of beating Pittsburgh, and next week they got Houston, and now they're taking a trip down to New Orleans, and it might be time to just say, hey, piece of cake, we'll walk through it.
You're right.
But
Cleveland almost...
I don't understand it. I mean, I look around and I see Butler, Collinsworth, and Mercer, same personnel, and yet they are burying people.
Yeah. I'm sure you're the same way I was, Bryant, when I heard the score, and I was in Kansas City last weekend. I thought, the Bengals, 34-0 over the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers must have thrown 5 interceptions and put the ball on the ground 8 or 10 times.
Yep, but
wrong.
No way.
There was
and
one...
you know what, Trumps? The funny thing is, and I remember you and I were talking about it last year, that they lost a couple of ball games they could have won in the early going last year.
Agreed.
Their special teams lost a couple. And this year, those same teams, in the final minute, turned it around and made it work.
You're right.
They came from behind and beat their Jets, and opening week they came from behind and turned defeat into victory. And, maybe, hey, you got so many number ones around, and all it took for them to become convinced they could win, and my God, they're playing good ball.
Yeah, that's all it's taken, too. And Forrest Gregg, all he's done is I think he's taken each individual player, got him in a corner, and said, son, you're good. Believe that. I'm going to prove it to you in the form of a team, but you're a decent football player.
And you know what? Proof of that, I think, is in David Verser. I mean, I think it was generally acknowledged that when they broke camp that David Verser was an open disappointment. And yet, given time to come along and assimilate things at his own pace, and to blend in and no pressure of doing it immediately, he has become what they thought he would be.
You're right.
But he wasn't that way in week 1.
Yeah. How about Jim LeClair?
It's amazing, the whole group.
Sure. Jim LeClair, 2 years ago, said on this program, just after the season, their second straight 4-12 season,
I will not play for Forrest Gregg.
No, what he said was, I've had enough of this. I don't need to go through football playing at 4-12. I'm going to retire. Ken Riley said the same thing. Forrest Gregg came in, and he said, I am going to personally talk to those colors of my defense. And you know what? Jim LeClair has played, so far, he has played like an all-pro. Against Buffalo, he had 15 unassisted tackles.
Oh, word.
Now, that's an incredible statistic.
Oh, word.
Even with a 34 defense, that's an incredible statistic.
No, there are people who play a decade in New York and don't get 15 unassisted.
Bryant, I apologize once again for bothering you at home.
Never a problem with you guys.
I just wanted to talk to you.
Hey, peace, Trumps.
All right, bye-bye.
Take care. Have fun this weekend.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bryant Gumbel is not, as yet, gone to the Today program. Rest assured. And when he does, we'll tell you about it, hopefully. Thanks for waiting. Good evening. You're on Sports Talk on WLW.